Hey, it's Dr. J. We are back with another week of intentional living. So let me first say Merry Christmas, and I hope that it was wonderful for you. For those that celebrate Christmas, I hope that it was all that you wanted it to be. And for those who choose not to, I hope that it's still the day in the moment and the pause still added value to you and your life and your space. I know for me, Christmas is always evolving. Uh, I think, let's see, in 2024, I lost my grandmother on Christmas Day. And so for a lot of years, immediately following that, it, it had a different meaning for me. And it took me a while to move through and understand and become a little more self aware as to why I was feeling the way I was feeling at the point in time and the reflection and all of that. And so it's good now. I still think about her. I still miss her. I miss her on the day. I miss her the days before the day. I miss her on her birthday. And so it just took me a minute to really understand what was happening on Christmas Day and why I didn't have as much joy as I previously had. And so it was a great day for me and my family, and it really was about spending time with my family. So hopefully you had a Merry Christmas. Last couple of weeks, we've talked about vision boarding, and the response has been great. And thank you for sharing your thoughts and sharing your opinions on vision boarding. And what I shared was this week I was going to talk a little bit about selecting a word for the year. So each year, so a few years ago, I was asked what was my word for the year, and I was like, I don't know, because I don't really know what that means. It's been about 6 years now, maybe around 6 or 7 years. And I started to really give it some thought. So the first year, I was a little shaky and really kind of didn't understand. But the next year, I really delved in, and so we've been at selecting a word for the year for about 5 years now. A lot of times, what we do is and maybe people have gotten away from it, but New Year's resolutions used to be a big thing, and they may still be, but we don't do New Year's resolutions, or setting goals used to be a big thing as you head into the new year. I do think that it is an opportunity to spend some time reflecting. I do think that it is an appropriate time to think about how the year has gone, how the past 3 or 4 or 5 years has gone. I do think that there is an immense value in recognizing that we are entering into a new year. And for each of us, how we do that can be very different. Um, I do think that goals are important. I think that for me, goals are important, but they are important when they are in alignment with the vision and when they are in alignment with maybe some things that we are strategizing on how to get to and how to usher in. I think that goals are very important in helping us to do that, to provide a framework. Um, for the beginning of the year, we don't do a resolution more so, but we do a word of the year. And it is a very intentional practice in terms of how and why do we establish one single word for the year. For me, the intent is to allow that word, and we're going to talk about a couple things like why select a word and how to choose a word and practical tips in living your word. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And so, why select a word? For me, it provides focus and clarity. It is not as restrictive as a resolution where you can measure success or failure. And I think some people need that. But it helps to focus and to clarify where I want to or what I am looking for in the new year or in new experiences. And I'll share some of our words some of my words and my husband's words over the past couple of years when we get to the end of this, but it is like my guiding light. It's a little bit of a theme. I don't force it. I don't exclude or include things that may or may not feel like they're directly linked to the word, but it helps me to focus on what truly matters at that point in time. And that changes, right? And so next year may be something else, but it grounds me. It is a guiding light for me. Um, and I think that there is an immense value in recognizing and level setting what the word is and what it can be and how it shows up for us. So, why select the word? One main reason is that I think that it provides clarity. It provides focus and it provides clarity to where we are headed in the coming days, months, and weeks. The second reason why you may want to consider a word is because it encourages mindfulness and it helps us to stay fully present. Every now and again, we get squirrely and we're all over the place, and that word helps to ground us back into okay, this is what I believe matters most and where I'm headed in the new year. So that one provides focus and clarity, and two, it helps us to stay mindful and to stay fully present, not in yesterday. Because just like we can get, look at that, that's so cool. Just like we can get caught up in all of the things that the goals that we think that we have coming, we also can get stuck in what happened last month or last year or the year before. It helps us to continue to be mindful and be fully present as to where we are. The third thing is that it's personal. It is so, my word is not given to me and I refuse to accept it from anybody else. It has to come from me, to me, and through me in order for me to be connected to not only the power of focus and the power of clarity, but also the power of mindfulness and being fully present. All right. So, those are a couple of reasons as to why you should consider having one word for the year. How do you choose your word? What are your priorities and values? Right? If you've done your vision board, if you started thinking about the things that are important to you, your word will present itself. At least it does for me. I think my first couple of years, like I chose a word, like, okay, I think that it's this. But I started to be in tune because the words start to show up and manifest itself and present itself. I started to be more in tune to, all right, what could it be? What should it be? I don't really know. So around October and November, looking around at my friends, I'm looking at my husband. I'm like, he's like, you got your word yet? I'm like, nope, it's not here yet, but I think it's coming. And so reflect on what's important to you and what your priorities are. What are your values? Right? What do you want to usher into your life and into your space? This is how we start to live intentionally. We don't wait for it just to happen. One of my words was, our one year, our words was abundance and overflow. We wanted that to present itself to us. We needed it to present itself for us, and it felt right. It felt like it was the time to start to experience a different level of abundance and overflow. Like, can you imagine? I have more than enough, and overflow means that I've got more than what I need in every area, not necessarily just money, not necessarily just in things, but I wanted to experience abundance in life, whether it was the quality of friendships and relationships and in work and in impact. I wanted an abundance. And so why wouldn't that be my word? That is what I want to show up into my space. And I felt like, ooh, it's time. Yeah, that feels right. If you're choosing a word, keep it simple. It ain't gotta be rocket science. It don't have to be something that folks gotta look up. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. Keep it simple. What is it telling yourself? One year, my word was freedom. My husband's word was discernment. So it was freedom and discernment. Simple, very scary, didn't really know what it meant. But man, it showed up in a pretty big way. And say it out loud like, ooh, does this feel good? Is it connected to my soul? Does it give me a question mark as to, ooh, I wonder how that's going to show up this year? Say it out loud. Think about it. Like, what is it? Because here's what happens, and this is not a part of this, but this is what happens. We keep all this stuff inside, and in order to get and move in the direction that we are supposed to go, we've got to bring it up and out. When we bring it up and out, that creates more space for more good stuff. We hold on to all of this. Doesn't mean you got to tell everybody, but we hold on to all of this stuff on the inside. Write it down, bring it up. Hear the sound and the ring to it. Abundance and overflow. I'm hustling. I'm moving in that direction. So say it out loud. Start to bring all of those things that are inside of you up and out. How do you do that? You journal, you write notes, you make lists. It doesn't mean that it's an action item, but it means that I'm filled with so much goodness. I'm filled with so much richness. I want more. And so in order to contain more, I've got to move some things out. That was an extra one. Nothing really kind of to do with the word, but maybe it does a little bit. Write it down. Say it out loud. How do you bring it to life? So make it visible. One of the ways that we bring our words to life in our house is that we do what is called myintent.org, I think it is. And every year, you will always find me. If you see me, I will have this on. And one of these is my word. And so in 2024, my word was content. Here I am with y'all. And my husband's word was, what was his? Elevate. And so you will always, always, always see me, if you run into me or connect with me, with my words somewhere close by, whether it's on as a keychain on my purse or on a bracelet. Oftentimes it's on a necklace in that I just wear it all year, every day. It's daily wear for me. My husband has the bracelets. Just order them. It's super simple and it's not that difficult, but make it visible. What you will also find is that your word will start to show up in places, whether it's magazines or whether you see something on television. Snap a picture, print the picture, put it up. Put it on your vision board. Use it as a daily affirmation, right? And so it can be like this year was content, and content pushed me, and it pushed me well outside of my comfort zone. But it was like, all right, I create good content. I am enjoying my journey and learning good content. I create good content. I am enjoying my journey and learning how to create good content. Like that is part of the affirmation, right? For me. I have another affirmation, and we can talk about that one week. But I have one affirmation that I say all the time in order to get through all the things. And so if you're thinking about your word this year, and I know this segment is a little longer than normal, but think about the reasons as to why you select a word. Think about how you choose a word, and then practical tips for living your word. The coming year, my word is, faith. And I'm going to share with you a little bit more about how that word came to me. And I always dance and I always struggle a little bit, but I ultimately accept the assignment. But I'll talk a little bit next week about how and why faith has come to me and is my word. And so here's what I will leave you with. It's not a trend. Selecting a word is not a trend. It's a meaningful way to create intention and focus your life. And if that is what you want to do, I would start with the things that I am capable of doing, which comes from the inside, which is starting your word. Happy New Year. I will see y'all next week. And next week I'll tell you, share what my husband's word is for 2025. And I will share with you how I got to the word faith. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching. And I'll see you next week.